Very funny. He was in the express lane on his way back from Atlanta at 4 o'clock. But I told him we'd get questions locally about that from people who live there. I want to feel like it's really or at least. Nick, you already asked me to have these. Sarah.
Hey, Sarah.
Happy belated birthday again. Yes.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Where is it?
Yes, sir.
We'll sit here. Happy love again. Where it went from nice to cold.
What happened?
I know it. I don't like it.
My windows were up yesterday. It was so nice, and then it was freezing.
Yes.
You want to give it a few more minutes?
Yeah, I'm gonna finish this real quick. I mean, we'll get started. Let me finish this real quick.
All right.
Nick, are you behind me?
Yes, ma'am.
Hey, Nick.
Hey, Sarah.
Oh, what?
No, Sarah, I'm right here.
Oh, sorry. I'm a little worried there for a second, Sarah. Don't flip us out like that.
After a while, she'll may. She said, not then. Not that time. I said hello to you.
Okay, Sarah. No, I'm just-
Show my age, because I had to think twice when you said that. It's show my age, because I had to think twice when you said that. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because you got a Nick, Nicky, Nicky all around you. You're surrounded.
Oh, gosh, that's right. Oh, I didn't think about that.
Her name is spelled just like ours with an I at the end.
Oh,
I
really?
can't tell you how many times I've been typing Nick Millwood and I type Nicky because
Yeah.
it's just automatic.
I haven't caught it
I
yet.
send emails to Nick when I'm trying to get him there.
All right, I guess Kelly will be here. Let me see. Starting at the top here. You want to start talking about the sewer rate thing, Mark?
Okay. So I want to provide you all with excerpts from the IGA with Coos County that allowed the minimum bill to be stabilized for those homes that are within the 200-foot area of being able to connect to the city sewer or county sewer, however you want to look at it. But currently, there's 390 Coos County accounts that are currently charging minimum bill for sewer. That does represent 4.1% of the total revenue for the sewer department. Additionally, the sewer department lost a 3.5% through an IGA that expired in October 2024. So collectively, that's a loss of revenue of 7.6 if this body were to do away with the minimum bill for those customers who are not connected,
Why did we lose that?
because Coos Utility refused to renew it.
It was the end of the deal that was very old, right?
Yeah, it's 25 years. It's
Yeah.
25 years, or maybe a 20-year agreement with one another. So that was $60,000. The total revenue brought in from the minimum bill is $70,200. But as requested, we were able to cut expenses from this year's budget. And this is where it gets confusing, because in the budget, I have to balance. It has to be zero, balanced out. So we were able to cut expenses to meet both of those revenue shortfalls. But we also have a bond that we have to uphold. And that bond requires a 20% revenue over expenditures. We can't meet that with both of those losses. So there, if something's going to be cut, well, I'll say this. Currently, we're running at a negative 3% margin currently. So there's going to be some action somewhere.
When you say currently, for when?
Because of that $60,000 loss
Okay.
from Coos Utility. And last year, looking at the, I put this in an email to you all, but looking at the, trying to make sure that we're in tune with the 120% revenue and that bond covenant. We met that covenant by less than 1%. we're actually at 0.69% of meeting that. So we're at 120%, 0.69, which is very, very close to not making that. And if we don't meet that bond covenant, obviously it's a ding on our bond rating that could affect us for funding in the future. So, yeah, that's where we're at. That's information I have to share.
Okay. And it's 130,000, is that right?
Total with the Coosa utility, yes.
Yeah.
Which is 7.6% total revenue budget.
Mayor, you know, I understand about them wanting to do away with this charge, but there's a lot of costs that come with the sewer line, you know, going out and having the guys locate lines. When somebody needs a new water line in the yard, they gotta have a sewer line located. I mean, you gotta have it mowed, you gotta have it inspected. There's a lot of hidden costs in with the sewer line. You know, we didn't pick the subdivisions that got sewer. The county health department said, hey, these sewers are bad in this area. You know, that's how they got picked, because they were in need of sewer lines instead of septic, because their septics were failing. In Coosa County, we've got bad perk problems anyway. Lands don't perk like they're supposed to. You know, that's why now you got pumps. But I think if somebody really can't pay the bill, I would like to see us do a hardship. If somebody can't afford it, say a woman's got 2 children and she just can't pay it, that's hardship to me. I think we ought to look at those cases and say, yes, she doesn't have to pay for a year. You come back and let us know if anything's changed. I would like to see us go that route. I wouldn't like to see us eliminate the minimum charge, because there is a lot of hidden cost. Because what that does, that 4.1 or that 7.6 is going to go back to the citizens of Ringgold or whoever is using the sewer. You know, we were elected by the citizens. So, I mean, that's a lot of money, $70,000. I didn't realize that we'd lost another 60 on top of that. I'm all for hardship. I am all for hardship. If somebody can't afford it, you know, elderly, they're just their income, I understand those points, but I don't know why it's been since 2013 since we put any sewer lines in, or before. 15 since we even put any sewer lines in, you know, so that's been, what, 15, 20 years?
About 10 years. About 10 years.
Yeah, so.
Meaning we have not run any sewer lines anywhere outside the city since 2015.
Two, with SPLOST funds or to existing neighborhoods, we have not. Now, you have developers that have extended it for their own purpose.
And when they choose to do that, they pay for it?
That's right.
All of it?
Yes.
If a sewer line gets run to their development past people who have had established houses for 10 or 15 years, do we force those people on sewer at that point?
We don't force anyone on sewer.
Do we start charging them? Is what I'm.
Can you repeat that?
Yeah. Okay. Let's say I'm magically a developer and I decided I want to have a development somewhere. I'm paying for the sewer to be run to that development. Between here and my new development, there's 7 or 8 houses along the way. Are we charging those people a fee for sewer just because I, as a developer, decided I wanted a neighborhood out past them?
That's not fair.
I don't recall a case of that ever happening, but in black and white, what's up on the screen, if they're within 200 feet, they would be charged a minimum.
I don't believe, let's just take the Rogers, not going out towards the truck stop, that subdivision there, there's a lot of failing septic tanks in that neighborhood. They weren't leading out to a subdivision, they were going out towards the truck stop to be able to service the property out there that the county owns. And also there was a problem out there somewhere. They went up by J.B. Millworks and caught some of that up in there. But they weren't leading to go for a subdivision that somebody was developing. They were getting out there to get that industrial, commercial, those. Tiger Creek needed it, so they went to Tiger Creek Elementary. Rogers, I don't know what the development of that neighborhood is. Cherokee Estates. They needed it, so that's why they got the lines in there. A lot of people, I talked to somebody today, he refused to pay. He refused to pay. And he wound up having to connect to the sewer because his sewer was failing. If you've been in that subdivision, it goes down. Well, if this guy's sewer fails, it comes down on everybody else's yard. You know, it goes over into their other yard. So if your septic's failing, it's going into your neighbor's yard. That's just a bad area over there. And I understand that people don't like to pay that charge, but you've got to have a little bit of money coming in to provide all those services we're providing. Inspections, locates, the mowing, all those are just costs that constantly come in.
Jake, on that same point, we have about 650,000, probably a little over 650,000 feet of sewer throughout the county. And based on our annual budget, it costs us about $534 a foot to maintain from a holistic budgetary standpoint.
That's fuel for mowing and those things.
Is number 21, you said that's part of an intergovernmental agreement?
This is what it is.
Okay, and that's until,
2031. I believe it's 2031.
so like we couldn't even change that now if we wanted to.
Well, we probably wouldn't go in and change that, we'd probably just stop billing certain people.
I
think
just-
we would try to, yeah.
I mean, it
I
says that it's available for that property within 200 feet. So you're saying we would just stop charging the fee? I don't really like having all of that lumped into the same conversation because I feel like what happened with the county is separate from what this body, whenever it was decided, was going to start charging people for sewer that didn't.
We didn't decide to, the county decided to.
That can't be true, that this body
It's true.
never, so they came in here and said, you guys are gonna start charging for
When they
sewer
give
to
it to
people
us,
that
they
live in
set
the
up a
county.
charge.
Take over the, yeah.
When they give it to us, this charge was already in place. We didn't make this, right? So believe it.
Yeah,
When,
We took over the county sewer system.
yeah.
And then they presented to us this IGA, which this excerpt is from. And at that time, the city council agreed.
And my feeling is, if somebody doesn't want, Mark and I were talking, and he made a good point in saying, this is a benefit in general. This is like if you have insurance, you may never need it, but it's a benefit in case you do. And so that's one piece. The second piece for me is I would like to see us develop what I would now call a hardship policy. I would like to, if somebody just doesn't want to do it, that's one thing. Because we're kind of stuck in an agreement that we didn't actually, that was there when we took over the sewer. But if somebody really has a hardship, and I see that as a benefit, if you ever need it, it is there for you. And a lot less expensive than if you had to bring it at the time that you failed. But the people like the lady that I had talked to before on Rogers Road, if she and her husband really had a hardship, I don't necessarily want them to have to come into City Hall and explain their situation. I think that if we develop, and I think we could develop a policy and put criteria. What is the definition of hardship? And we would specify the definition of somebody who had a hardship, and they could fill out that form, and it could be, it could go to the sewer department, it could go to Mark, it could go to wherever to determine if that person had a hardship. And if they had a hardship, then I would say absolutely. Let's do something. I mean, whatever could be written into the policy. At some point, that house won't belong to them. Either they're gonna die and it's gonna go to somebody, or they're gonna sell it. At some point, that house won't belong to them. that may be part of the policy that we write in, what happens at that point. But that's kind of where I would say covering the people that have a hardship. The people that just don't want to pay it, it's $15 a month.
Okay, Sarah, you know, and I always go back to $15 a month to us.
That's why.
$15 a month to my
That's-
mother-in-law. who
That's
lives
the
on
hardship.
$1,100 a month. That's a lot of money.
That's the hardship.
That is hardship.
I'm taking care, I would like us to take care via a general hardship policy that would cover anybody that had a hardship. That would take care of those people. And that's what we want to take care of. We are representing people who could end up, in order for us to meet this 20% that we have to have revenue above expenditures for our bond. We need to have that money somewhere.
And I hear
And
what you're saying.
the people we represent, I sort of say, I don't think it's fair to have to up the sewer bill to 10% in order to cover the people that don't vote for us, if you want to put it that way, that we don't particularly represent. I would
I
like
hear what
to
you're saying,
help
and I hear
them.
what you're saying. I hear both, and we're not going to convince each other to change our minds. It's just it is the way. But I feel like
we've
it's
addressed
a
your hardship. We've addressed your hardship.
No. My biggest issue is not the hardship. My biggest issue may not even be something that this body controls. My biggest issue is charging people for a service that they may not ever use.
Like your insurance, like your car insurance.
Do you want me to run
You got people living.
RTC
You got people-
fiber optic down yours and
You
start
got-
charging you
you
$40
got
a month
people
even
that
though you
live in
don't use it?
homes
You're not going to
They
change
don't
my
drive a
mind.
car, but
Not
pay
gonna
road
change my
tax,
mind.
they pay for taxes for streets, and they're not even using the street.
You will not change
But I'm not
my
trying
mind.
to change your mind, but
Okay.
that's the actual truth.
It just
I mean,
should have
that's the
never
truth of the matter.
started.
It probably should have,
It
but
shouldn't,
we need
there's
that
no
money
logic
to
to it.
maintain our,
I
to maintain
understand.
everything. We're
I
going to charge for
understand.
garbage service now.
Okay,
We need
listen.
to charge for garbage
You're not
service.
going to change my
We
mind.
need to charge for extra.
Hold it.
Not gonna change my
Yeah,
mind.
So,
You're not
because this is not
saying
going anywhere, this is not going
Right,
anywhere.
thank
This
you.
is not going anywhere,
Yeah.
so we need to stop.
Yeah.
Okay, we need to stop. I'm sorry, man.
No, wonderful, go ahead.
Okay. I'm gonna tell you where I'm at. I'm not ready to make a decision on this.
I'm really not either.
I need more information and I wanna take this. So I don't know exactly how we do this or whatever, but I personally, I am not ready.
I would like
To
to
make
talk
a
about
decision
it,
on
the
this.
truth.
In fact, I
Let's
I'm
just
not ready to
talk
make a
about it.
decision on this.
I asked
I
But-
think I
Mark
had
if
this
he
on the
would
thing
put
last
it
year
on.
at the retreat. I think I put
I
it on
asked
here on
Mark
the
if-
agenda like 2.5 years ago.
I would ask Mark if he would put formulating a hardship policy and discussion around that at our retreat.
Okay.
So that we could take care of that issue. I can tell you that if we don't meet our bond, we don't want to lose that bond
I
rate.
hear you.
It will hurt us bad.
If
I
I may,
hear you.
Mr. Mayor, I'm here.
I hear you.
I think it's important because I was gonna say exactly what Ron just said. This could be another recreation complex that just keeps kicked down.
The can, not kicking the can down
I
the
think it's
road.
okay to make a decision. However, if you look at, what was it now, over $130,000
Yes.
in revenue we gotta figure out. I'm ready to make a decision because I'll be honest with you, I don't care. I don't want another government policy about hardship because then who decides what's the criteria. Then it's a whole nother thing that we got to get into. I would like to just see, and I get Vic, what you're saying, but the fact is I buy car insurance because I legally have to. Why do I legally have to? Is to protect you. Because if I hit you, okay, now if my poop goes into a septic versus a sewer, they ain't protecting anybody.
But if
That's
they don't,
my choice.
if they don't pay, we don't go arrest them either.
But, well, they can get sued, and that's a whole other thing. My thing is, people, if they didn't ask for the sewer, then they shouldn't have to pay for it. And I know we can disagree on that. As far as the policy here, I'm ready to make a decision and say, let's make a decision that we're gonna move forward in doing, if that's what the body, if there's a majority of us wanna do that, to abolish the policy. let's give ourselves 6 months to figure out where the revenue is going to come from.
You're going to have to
Because-
run the store.
Well, no, maybe that's an option.
But
Or you're just gonna take it out.
Because
No,
then-
you didn't let it finish.
There's another option too. So I was talking to Mark earlier today, and like rehab of these lines that aren't in the city, we can't use SPOS dollars that the county has set aside for the county can't necessarily be used for Ringgold sewer projects that aren't in the city. So I think it's enough of a touch point to go to them and say, we want some of that pot of money that's county pot of money allocated for SPOS funds to rehab some of this sewer stuff. Currently, we can't do that. That's not the way that it's where we can't get to that money. If you start using some of that money, then you can kind of make the bottom line come more in line with that 20% of the revenue that we need for the bond rating, because we can't lose that bond rating.
No.
So I think it's prudent to say if this body wants to move forward and you know, at least 3 of us say, we want to move forward with it. These people, they don't get this service. We put this infrastructure they don't use. I get it. You say people don't have cars. I guarantee they're ordering Amazon or DoorDash at least sometime. They got to get to them. Regardless of any argument, you can make logical arguments for or against. Regardless of all that, I don't think people should pay for the service they're not using if they didn't ask for it. And if that's what this body wants to do, I say we can move forward with it and sort of quasi-table it and say we need to figure out a way to pay for it. We got to give ourselves 6 months or 9 months or 3 months or whatever. I think 6 months is more than enough time. We can approach the county and say, there's SPOS dollars available. We need some that we can use for infill maintenance, whatever we need to do for rehab of sewer projects that we can't use that pot of money. Am I making sense with that?
You are, and so what I would do then at the very least is I would agree with Earl that we table it, because we don't have your information and we don't know that the county's gonna go along with it. And I'm not gonna agree to something that I don't know the county's gonna accept or go along, because we don't get a lot of money.
Right.
And so they may go along and they may not. And I'm not willing to put a 10% increase on my citizens for this on the prospect of maybe the county will give us money. I'm very willing to table the whole thing until we find that information out, because I would love them not to have to pay. But there are too many negatives with the bond, with not being able to have our rehab projects, because we will have no money if we keep the bond, or to spend all our money that we have and do whatever we want and lose the bond rating. Those are not very
Someone
good
in this
options.
group that's smarter than I'm a vision caster, I'm not a details person. But ultimately, we will make more money for sewer rehab and sewer altogether if people can connect, if it's not cost prohibitive to connect. You know, they will pay more for the sewer service, correct? If they're actually connected and using it, right?
Yes.
Okay. So if we can and I think people would be more than willing to connect to sewer if they financially could afford it. Is it possible for someone who's way smarter than I am in regard to numbers, I'm looking at you, to figure out how we can lower the cost to connect? And in the long run, we will, at a minimum, even back out and maybe be in a better situation because more people will connect. I don't know what that looks like. I don't know if that means a grant from the state. I don't know if that means getting one of our state legislators involved. I don't know what that.
Now, I mean, the connect on it's only $500, $600, and yeah, that is the cheapest around as we talk about it. But the expense is the $3,000 to get it from the house to the road.
Right.
That's the expense. Not, I mean, even if we waived the $500-$600 fee to connect on, which I'd be totally on board with. It's the cost of, and I mean.
But rehabbing your septic tank could cost you $600-$700.
Well, the way some of it's worded now, like if you can connect but choose not to, and that septic goes bad, you legally have to connect, right?
No,
If it can be repaired, I think it's under $10,000.
Okay.
Then they don't have to.
So maybe we package that and send it out to those residents, or maybe we do a town hall that we say, hey, listen, we are willing to waive this fee for you to connect. Here is a list of tried and true, Sarah, I can see you shaking your head. No, I just want you to be open and listen.
I've talked
Just
to
listen. I
people
don't care
down
who you
there.
talk to. I
Well,
want
they didn't want it.
if they have the time to dabble in future retirement, they have the time to do something that impacts 100% of City Ringgold,
Sarah was
100% of the
involved with this
Fort O.
5 years ago.
I don't care what
She
happened
was
5
on
years
this
ago.
5 years ago trying to, she's
Kelly,
the
will you
reason,
look at
she's the
that?
reason it's cheaper today.
There's gotta be a way that we can, at the end of the day, get more people connected because that's what's best for the environment. But also figure out the numbers so that in the long run, they are connected to a service they're using and we are actually coming out.
Because ultimately,
in a
those lines that
positive.
are ran for, you know,
And I would agree
whatever,
with
if
you,
we get more people connected, it's gonna bring in more revenue.
but he's got to talk to Mark, because Mark came out of sewer.
Ladies and gentlemen, I really don't think that we have a consensus. We've got a few things to get to. I think that it's probably going to end up getting tabled, and I don't know if that's the best or the worst thing, but I'm sure there's not a consensus. I should have started with you. I'm sorry that I jumped into that.
No, you're good.
Amy, thank you for being here.
Yeah.
And I know that you wanted to talk to us a little bit. If you don't mind going ahead and jumping into your part, please.
I was just saying, I'm grateful y'all did. I can feel my anxiety going high. And I promise you.
At the end of the day, we're all still friends, we all love each other, I
And I see
promise.
it, and we talked about the other day about, I go back to the sign, the GNT sign, and now the sign is standing there, and that was such a great, and y'all are amazing.
It
So
looks good too.
it does look good, and so, anyway, I just, and I obviously can't count Nikki, I apologize, we'll have to share a little bit of that.
I've got one.
Okay.
I've got one.
You got one,
Yep, I've got
okay.
one. You got one.
I've got one too.
Okay, so, Earl invited me here, and I appreciate that. Is it okay if I sit? Am I gonna be in trouble for that?
If you don't mind if I stand.
Okay, I feel so tall. So Earl just asked me the other day to tell him a little bit about the chamber. And obviously I can use chamber all day long, and I appreciate the opportunity. And so we do a thing with our members called Chamber 101 twice a year, with new members or people that are thinking about our chamber to be a part of. And so we kind of went through that for a little while. And maybe a couple things that I assume that people know that Earl said, that was new news to him. Obviously, we're not a part of government. We're not part of the county. We are the Catoosa County Area Chamber of Commerce. And you don't have to have brick and mortar in our county, and you can be members of multiple chambers. So our chamber is a very strong chamber. We are U.S. accredited. We were accredited by the U.S. Chamber of Commerce, which was last year. We went through a reaccreditation with 3 stars. You can get no stars, which is what we had. We went to 3 stars last year, and then 4 and 5 is the gold. And that just says organizationally structure, we are sound, and we have to go through everything and make sure, and then it goes to a team of people that are not here, and they look through everything and then give us that score. So we're very proud of our 3-star accreditation from the U.S. Chamber. There are only 14 chambers in the state of Georgia that have that accreditation, and 199 in the United States. So of over 4,000 chambers. So we're in the top 3%, and we're very proud of that. In addition, we also have a Georgia Certified Chamber accreditation, and we're a member of GACCE, which is the Georgia Association of Chamber of Commerce Executives. So a lot of things that I participate in to make sure that we're doing what chambers should do and trying to do better and grow our programs and things like that. So first I want to say thank you, y'all are, and I've been along, the City of Ringgold has been a long-standing chamber member way before my time. I've been with the chamber for 9 years and been president for 6, and the doors are still open, so I count that as a plus. We had our annual meeting on January 9th, so that's what you have here is our annual report and our program of work for 2025. If you'll just open that up, one of the things you can see, so we have, and this pretty little colored sheet here, all the different levels of chamber membership that we have and kind of what those include. So a goal of ours is to always keep our membership level affordable to small business. So we offer a nonprofit rate of $225 for a 12-month membership. Our smallest business partner rating, which essentially they get anything anybody else gets other than some prepaid items, is $325, and that's for 12 months. It's not a calendar year. If you join in April, then it's through the next March. Right? Then we offer the patron sponsor levels, and you can see City of Ringgold is at the corporate partner level today. Then it goes up to the chairman, the board of councilors, and the board of governors level. And you've got the information here, what each of those includes. And I think another thing too would be kind of to look at who else is where are they, right? What other levels are, so you can see Coos County government is at the Board of Governors level. Fort City, Fort Oglethorpe is at the Board of Councilors level, and that's kind of where Earl and I were talking about what's there, what do you get today and what's there. So I wanted to kind of let y'all know some data. I figure data is always good, right? 2 years ago, actually 2.5 years ago, I was able to add a full-time position. So today we have 5 chamber employees, actually 4.5 because one's part-time. We receive all of our funds, we're self-funded. So it's from membership dues and non-dues revenue events. We have 4 non-dues revenue events. We have the Gala, which is coming up March 1st, golf tournament May 6th, Run White Blue 5K and 1 mile fun run is July 6th. Our 5th, I believe it is this year, and then November 6th, we'll do our expo, which was phenomenal back in November. It's such a great event every year for businesses. And then in the chamber world, it's better to have more non-dues revenue than you do dues revenue. Today, we're about 50-50%, okay? So we have about 450 members. And just, so again, about 2.5 years ago, I added a full-time position as a communications specialist. You probably know Bobby Daniels. He started with us, now he's with City of Fort Oglethorpe. And then we have Marissa Conkle. And Marissa is amazing. She has a degree in that, and I'm so glad because before that was me. So I will say today that as far as promotion and advertising, we do a better job than we've ever done. And in most cases, I just tell people that the money is well spent. Join the chamber if you didn't get anything else but the advertising and promotion from it. Some things that I just want to tell you, so we have a Coos Connects email newsletter that goes out twice a week on Mondays and Thursdays. And in each one, the City of Ringgold has been sponsored or has been in there in some form or fashion, either by the banner that you see here with the name, or through promotion of one of your events or something that specifically would affect the City of Ringgold. So you can see there in 2024 we had open emails of 95,000, about 43%, which is up from the year before, and an average click rate of 6%, which is again up from the year before. So we have, every month we promote Tourism Partner of the Month, Restaurant of the Month, and Nonprofit of the Month. And you can see that last year, again, this is all 2024, September, in addition to just normal Ringgold things, the pickleball courts were the Tourism Partner of the Month, and then the Haunted Depot for October, which we try to be very timely about that, right? And then going on down, social media posts. We estimate that we had about 97 social media posts about something in Ringgold, not including ribbon cuttings, because those would be additional ones. And then so she's given me some of the reactions and comments and shares of some of the top things that we promoted. Now, I will say we work very closely with Jamie Clementez and Hannah Grady. They're amazing, and we're not trying to replace them. We just are trying to enhance what they're putting out there. We're trying to get it to go a little further, right? So, in fact, I was just telling Mark, we've got our posters up at on our door at the colonnade of the play and the legacy night. We're promoting that as everybody that walks in the colonnade, which is a county building. They're seeing those posters because y'all are chamber members, and that's our office space, right? So any way we can do that, we get real creative, okay? Some other events that we promote for Ringgold. Obviously, y'all are gracious, and we use the Ringgold Depot. I think we've done that for 4 years now. The Shop Local Breakfast is one of the favorite events of every chamber member. So just to be there, and then to go and work with the Ringgold Downtown Partner businesses to promote their businesses and have baskets and giveaways and things like that. And then just to give you an idea, in 2024 we had 75 new chamber members. And I will say there might give you these that are not in the City of Ringgold that have a Ringgold address, but the majority of them are actually in the City of Ringgold. 24 out of 75 are, but approximately a third of them are Ringgold businesses. And then the ribbon cuttings, and that's where we get a lot of interaction on the ribbon cuttings. We always do 2 posts on social media. This information also goes in the newsletters. But we do a video and photo post, and so of that you can see, I think there's 20 we've done ribbon cuttings, and even one for the Creekside Park, which was great with the pickleball courts and all that. So anything that, whether it's a new business or a new chamber member business, or they done a renovation, dwelling added a coffee shop in there, so we came back, even though dwelling has been opened several years ago, we came back and did to announce about the coffee shop. So just to kind of give you some of the promotion that we're glad to be a part of and do. The current level, the next page, you've got kind of what you're paying today. Your renewal date is September, renewal month, so September through August is the billing. We always bill 30 days in advance, so sometimes it gets paid in August. I don't know which budget year you take it out of. And it just kind of goes through and tells you, obviously you can use our chamber logo, you can put that on your website. Hopefully you've got and if you don't, I need to get you one of the stickers down by the front door. Obviously the networking events, we're a convener. We put people in the room, so that people can get to know y'all, because you're amazing people, but sometimes they don't have access to you. But at a luncheon, they feel that they can come up to you, because we mark your table with City of Ringgold, so that they can get to know you as people, and not just, and know that you're part of the council, and that they can have your ear at some point in time if they have a need to do that. So we're very glad to do that. And then we talked about the newsletter, the link on the website. So we do have a business directory, and City of Ringgold has a business a listing out there, and they can click on it, takes them to your City of Ringgold website. And there are some things that can be customized and changed on that, but we do have that out there today. Again, you can be a chamber member, a business spotlight host. There's a little bit of extra charge for that. We've done several business blast emails, so that's an email that goes out on a Friday when there's nothing else going on, and it's just about, it might just be about the Ringgold Hot and Depot. That's probably paid out of CBB funds, DBA funds to do that. But we do that to promote specific, and usually, it's about 2,500 email addresses with about a 40% open rate. So it's pretty good advertising. Signage. So at every chamber event, usually on the back of, if you're coming to a luncheon, on the back of the program, there's this banner that everybody sees. It's usually up on the screens in the hallway. Now that we've upgraded some of the technology there, we can put it up there. So on our website, this is how this is out there. This is on every newsletter that goes out. So what I'm proposing, I would love to see, is your logo. I would love to see the Ringgold logo, because sometimes the words get lost. What Earl and I had talked about in the chairman's circle, there are a lot of logos in there, in that. So basically the differences are prepaids. So if you go to look at today, in the current level, you have a $100 credit toward chamber member events. Most of our events are $20. So the luncheons, the women's network luncheon, the men's breakfast, the Catoosa Young Professionals. And then you also have a $250 credit for the sponsorship of events. Again, our 4 non-dues revenue events. And then $250 towards in a publication if you wanted to put an ad. The level that we're looking at is the 5250, and you can see that those prepaids go up substantially. The last three lines: $300 credit toward chamber member events, $750 toward sponsorships, and then $750 toward advertising. Again, there are other levels. There's one in between those, and then there's one above those. So the other thing that's additional is in the Board of Counselors membership level, you also get your booth is paid for, which is in your current level is an extra charge, and you also get a golf team. So those are some other things that can be included. If you went to the top level, the Board of Governors, that also includes tuition for Leadership Catoosa, which y'all usually have somebody I'm thrilled about. Today, Hannah Grider's in that class, which is our 9-month leadership class. And it also includes a table of 8 at the gala. So with this, the one that we're proposing, it has 4 seats. So today you have 2 seats that are included. I know y'all got time, you've got to get to your other meeting, but do you have any other questions? And if you want to look at the events that we have in the last page here, it shows you all the events and most of the dates. Obviously, those are subject to change. And then we have our program of work. Every year, just like y'all do, you have a board retreat. My chamber board, I have 19 bosses. I told her all. So I am a member of the executive committee, but I don't have a vote. We also have 4 ex officio members, and Sarah serves as the Ringgold ex officio. And I love that. I love the communication that we have at our chamber board meetings between the county, the EDA, and the two cities, and the chamber board of directors. So, not all chambers do that, and I would highly recommend that, and also with the training I've had, it's recommended, but I'm so glad that we do have that, and Sarah, thank you for serving in that capacity.
What is the tuition cost for leadership to do so?
$850.
And then we buy a table at the gala. We don't, the CVB does, right?
So that, because you get credit for the 2 seats that are part of your current membership level, today that's an additional $750.
So what I'm proposing, can I go in? Can I, please?
Yes.
So what I would like to see us do is to go to 5250, and I will take this back. Maybe I got out over my skis. I would take this back to the CVB, and they would pay for it, I guess. They can, yeah. But I wanted Amy to come in front of us because this is I have to run this year, and I think this is the first time Amy has sit down with us and explained all this stuff to us. And I didn't even know that we were in at corporate partners. I didn't know that. So, I mean, she really educated me about the chamber and stuff, and was very gracious with her time and stuff. So, I mean, I would love for us to go to the Board of Councilors. So that's what I'll be proposing now.
What is the tip? You're proposing it to us, or you're going to propose it to CVB? Because they would be the ones that have to approve it, right? I mean, if they're paying for it,
We can make that recommendation to request the CBB to pay for that level of sponsorship.
And what month of the year do we typically pay it? September?
I think the last one was actually in August.
August. So would you
We could
finish out
prorate it.
the year, or are you wanting to prorate it? And if we paid it in August?
What is this? This is February?
Yeah, it's early.
It's early, isn't it?
We could prorate it.
So we could
if we
prorate it.
want to.
Yes, and then you can put all this in place.
Would we pitch it to the would Earl pitch it to the CVB first to see if they're even open to it, or are we voting on recommending it prior to asking if they're open to?
Now, we can vote to
Right.
recommend it, but I mean, ultimately it's up to them.
Right.
But, we can vote to recommend it, and I think that, it's up to them.
We may not even need any action on this tonight.
Yeah.
And then I can take it from the CBB, but I wanted
That'd probably
Amy,
be fine.
yes, I wanted Amy to come in front of the council.
Yeah.
And I would like for Amy to come back at least once a year. Because it's, I mean,
With food.
again, I'll say, this is the first time since I've been back on the council that she's really come and spoken about us.
And I think it's great because I go to all the meetings all the time and I never think about bringing it back. So that it's really good that you
Yeah.
invited Amy and that she came.
You do a fantastic job, Amy.
Thank you.
You do a fantastic
It's
job.
a great partnership among us. I mean, got a great team, got a great board, the 2 cities and the county, EDA. I mean, I love it. We love to promote what y'all do. Y'all do some amazing things. And the real great partners.
I know, I feel like you land here when we have the
Yeah,
biggest
just sometimes we have-
of the year.
I'm grateful that you do what you do because you do it well. And,
We still love each other.
That's right, you do.
Yes,
And you're
Jake
getting
is
fixed.
on.
You're getting worked out.
Mine's on the fence still after 5 years, but.
So,
Okay, anybody have any questions for Amy? Yeah, let's go ahead and move on. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Amy, yeah, okay, thank you very much.
absolutely.
Really appreciate you.
Lord have mercy.
We pay $1 more for us, our logo is bigger.
No, I can work that out.
Please.
Okay, my turn again, I guess.
What do you want?
This is the
Truck
truck.
drivers that
Oh,
don't
yes,
drive.
that's right, that's right.
Okay, so this is Spark Street coming up at the Dollar General, and then take the turn right there on High Street. Okay. Now this happened. I don't know if this was the last one, but this happened right at school. So we had county and the city police officers out there, and then Yates came in, pulled the thing out, and I asked Dan, the interim chief, now, are we going to citate this guy? And he said we cannot. So there's nothing I mean, they had a record of
That
it.
street.
Huh?
Why are they going down there?
GPS took them. I'm sure GPS took them, but this is not the first time this has happened.
Where are you trying to go? Christian High Street?
It's going towards County Office, right there. I don't know if it was going to County Office.
Yeah, this is Sparks and High. You know what? You know.
Yeah, I know, you're trying to
Yeah.
figure out like what.
He was going to the antique store,
Going to where?
running store, the antique store, which is High Street.
Feed Callaway feed. Yeah.
So what do we want to do? What do you want him to do?
Well, I don't know. I don't know what to do, but this is not the first time this has happened. There is no signage on the road, which I understand Mark says that signage doesn't work, but if there's at least a sign there, we can cite the person.
That's why you were just looking at me and laughing.
When he said sign.
Sign, yeah, you're like, it's just weird.
Well, because now, I mean, traffic was, yeah, they had a police officer right at Dollar General, had it cut off up there at Tiger Trail. All this was blocked off and stuff, and then nothing happens to this. I mean, he paid the toll bill, I'm sure, but
So if we have a no trucks sign and they come on it, then they can cite them? Was it a truck that made those humongous divots right there on the curb right in front of the depot as well?
Yeah.
I feel like we're gonna have an issue with the new businesses that are over in that area because I don't know how trucks are gonna get there. And I feel like this might happen more.
Do you think you're gonna have trucks like that?
Well, I mean.
I
it's-
won't, but I know somebody did this past week. Cause she messaged me and I'm like, you need to call Mark. Cause I can't tell you how to tell a semi truck to get to where you are. I hope she called you. That may be where the divots in the depot yard came from.
You know what?
is-
We'll
Where are they
just,
trying to get to?
To the backside, it was the deli meat. Yeah,
The big hole.
the backside. I mean, I would.
so I
get a
don't,
sign
we have to
cite them.
we have to do something.
we could make it a tad wider up there. I mean, just add a little more road there.
Put a tile in.
Put a tile in, add a little more road. Is there a tile there? Does it come up? So there is something coming under the road there?
There is. We just
So
did
just a short extension there would go a long way probably with the tile. And stuff.
That's what the property owner asked for, if we could add a tile to it.
You probably need 2 tiles, to be honest with you, because look how far they're in there.
Yeah.
Probably extend at least 10 feet.
Yeah.
Take some time, sure.
But the tile's no problem, and then we'll just have to find some dirt to put on top of it. It's not gonna be pretty.
We got plenty of dirt coming from Sarfield.
Yeah.
So, but I think he should have been cited. That's my concern. So do we do nothing? Put a tile there?
Oh, I say put a sign there. I'm all for
Are we
citing.
giving them a ticket for running under the bridge now? Because somebody done that again
Yeah.
last week. So,
So they do get a ticket if they run under.
No, there's signs everywhere.
Yeah, there's signs everywhere.
Oh, okay.
they're still doing it.
Blinking lights.
Yes.
The sign is what gives us the ability to write the
Yeah.
so
So where would the sign be put at?
at National Street.
Yeah, before they turn
But
on.
now, here
General.
They
again,
ain't gonna read it, but we'll
the
go
school gets semi-trucks in daily.
Yes.
They come down, but they don't turn that
They don't
way.
turn.
They go to the
They go
next.
straight to the school.
And, you know, you could add into that policy or in that ordinance that if you have an address, like we do on Lafayette Street, you can deliver to Lafayette Street if you're delivering to a Lafayette Street address. But if
Yeah.
you're just going through and using this through traffic, it's just a ticket.
Yeah.
So you can make it where the high school can still get their deliveries. The high school, and middle school get a truck like that every day, every 2 or 3 days. Yeah.
But then again, I'll say this is not the first time this has happened.
Wait a minute.
So
I mean,
Is that Jesse's yard there, or is it?
that's
somebody
Marshall Lumpkin's yard.
else? Oh,
Yeah. Yeah. And he called me. And can we do something? Yeah. And then Jesse Russell said something to me. But because again, I'll say it's not the first time it has happened.
I'll
So
say this, if you put up a sign and you make this radius wider, you'll never catch the trucks because they won't get stuck. I mean, just to be completely honest with you.
So
They'll just
one
go
or the
through there.
other should be
We're
done?
not gonna cop there 24/7, we're not gonna catch them.
So we should do one or the other.
That'd be my
oh,
Don't we want to just fix it? Like just,
I mean, let's fix it.
let's just fix it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't understand why they wouldn't go down
Well,
National Street.
Geez, they're not from here.
GPS.
GPS still in there.
So they will drive into a cornfield or GPS. UPS company.
And it'll
So
do,
I guess
and if there's a
we'll
little
fix it.
traffic downtown where it's
That's
stopped up,
fine.
it'll send them that way.
Yeah, I brought it to the council, this is what people elected us for.
And
They
then if
called me,
that
I bring
doesn't
it.
fix it, then we could go back to adding a sign.
And it's probably in our right of way enough to where, I mean,
Do what, that's-
it's not gonna hurt his feeling to have his.
No, he asked,
Yeah.
he contacted me and said, "Can we need to do something about this?"
Well,
So-
if you wanna run it by him that we're talking about putting the tile there and covering it, what y'all say about 10 foot? I mean, if he has an issue with that, I guess just let us know, but otherwise, I think that'll get it.
So we want to put a tile, not a sign. Put a couple tiles in, not a sign. Is that what
It's
my?
just such a good fix right there by the church coming in on Barker Street, just making that a little wider there, they just put a tile in there, covered it. Makes a huge
And we're not talking about
difference in
paving it,
radius.
we're just talking about putting some dirt in there, maybe grow a little grass, right?
Oh, well, I mean, if
I
we,
mean,
if
do
it's
you
enough
want
to raise it
like
up
a
to
turning
the,
lane like
not
we did?
necessarily, I was actually talking about perhaps putting a little pavement there, just on top of it, up to the turn, but we wouldn't have to, if it was all dirt up on the top, it would be fine.
If you
right?
build it up kind of
Yeah.
level,
Yeah,
or
That would
if
be
a
fine.
truck did go on it, he wouldn't be sinking down.
yeah, that's, yeah.
And it would
That's
look more eye pleasing than having a big turn there.
Yeah, you're right.
So you can compact the dirt, the tile will handle the weight, and I'm asking, so the tile will handle the weight, and you compact the dirt down enough to,
I would recommend at least putting concrete on top, if not better.
Okay. Yeah.
Concrete the radius.
Yeah.
We could pave it too, it really doesn't matter.
well, I think we heard a couple of different things. Are we gonna put grass or concrete?
We'll let Mark decide how
Okay,
he wants to fix it.
yeah.
I'd recommend putting some hard surface there, not just, because then you're gonna start tracking when it's wet, out in the river as well.
Okay,
Cool.
all right, I'm good. Thanks.
I mean, we have these memorandums of understanding, I think we're pretty much done, what else? The towing ordinance, that's straightforward.
The memorandum.
Yeah, yeah, that's about it.
And those are really just SOPs for our police department.
Right.
Of how to approach some individuals that are, or all the individuals that are either under the C.S.I. or the sexual assault offenses. For these SOPs.
Should we add, may I?
Yes.
Are we done? Should we add, possible truck delivery route on the new Bentonville businesses to the retreat for discussion? Because I thought about that too.
I don't know how they'll deliver books to Book and Barrel. I don't know if they'll come on a semi truck or what.
Mark was telling me he didn't have enough stuff for the retreat, so.
Right, we might as well just make the retreat 8 days.
No, that's our thought quick.
So would they not just come to Depot Street, son?
I don't know.
It's just, I don't see,
There's
it's
a
hard
nice
to make
book
a turn
there,
back.
I don't see us needing
It'd be-
a two,
Yeah, I think
Sometimes
most
they'll-
deliveries are gonna be box trucks.
yeah.
But sometimes they'll bring a box this big on a truck like that.
Oh my
Why? They just do that.
Yeah.
Waste
Yeah.
gas.
Yeah, they bring me a box and they're this big on a semi.
I mean, I know, I need to figure out the route that the Jefferson's truck, because it's not a full, it's a 52 foot. It's just,
Probably the short one, the 35.
yeah, it's a shorter.
I told
But it's US
her
Foods,
what.
but they pull
fits.
down the wrong way down Mountain Street, because it's already up in the
Yes.
morning.
And that may be where Melinda needs, because she will probably have bigger trucks than anybody, because I would imagine she's gonna have refrigerated trucks. But I think that was just a contracted job to move all of that equipment up here that she was getting from the
But it-
Atlanta area or
Maybe,
something.
and I can just look at it, it's not true, but it might be worth to see of that road.
Did I see you talking about
Depot Street.
55 Chevrolet?
Yes, sir.
I like that. Is that your car?
Yeah. You know, like you see, like,